The federal government has done nothing as murder rates in the city of Chicago have skyrocketed under President Obama. Now, the Justice Department, is blaming Chicago law enforcement. After a 13-month investigation, the Obama Justice Department makes its contribution to trying to solve the violence crisis in Chicago, and all they can come up with is an accusation that Chicago's finest of routinely violating the Constitution.
The Department of Justice has concluded that there is reasonable cause to believe that the Chicago Police Department engages in a pattern or practice of use of excessive force in violation of the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution.
What in the world? Joining us tonight, domestic policy advisor to the Trump transition, Ken Blackwell. Ken, great to have you with us. I mean, this is stunning stuff. She obviously has no sense of the absurdity and the irony of the moment in which she has been besmirched by her own conduct. The FBI, under her supervision, is now under investigation for its conduct, and all she can do, where thousands of people have been killed over the 8 years of this administration, is say the local law enforcement used excessive force. I mean, that's just absurd, is it not?
It is, Lou. Look, what we have across this country is the ambush of police officers on duty is up at its highest point in 20 years. The number of on-duty police officers of all colors and ethnicities that have in fact been killed on the job, it's up at its highest point in 5 years. There's been an abandonment of community-based policing that depends on a positive interaction between the police departments and neighborhoods that they serve. And we find an administration and political leadership in Chicago that basically wants to blame the situation in Chicago and in urban areas on police officers, and they paint with a broad brush. And what they do is that they invite more attacks on the men and women of all races and all ethnicities in blue who serve our communities.
And they're driving police officers off the streets, and they are not going out to prevent and to preempt trouble, because they're concerned about their own jobs, their own security, because they know that Rahm Emanuel, the mayor, the city council, none of the community has their back. So why should they take any step that would put them at even greater risk than they are already at, which is immense?
Absolutely. You look at hands up, the hands up, don't shoot movement, and you look at what we call the Ferguson effect. You get just what you just outlined. You have folks who are on duty who refuse to get out of their cars because they believe that the political leadership is more on the side of the criminal than on the men and women and families in neighborhoods.
Donald Trump has made it clear he is going to work to resolve the crisis of violence in our countries, in our cities, our inner cities. This is right now a combustible, if you will, moment, because the left is attacking the Trump administration. The left, of course, represents the power structure of nearly every inner city community in the country. And the failure, we're talking about over 4,000 murders under President Obama's watch nationwide in our major cities. It is such a flammable moment. What is he first going to do? What can he do to make good on his promise?
Well, one of the things he and Jeff Sessions will do is once again establish that they're on the side of making our communities safe by backing the men and women of the police forces, law enforcement in those cities. They will, in fact, attack dysfunctional public schools that have, in fact, really attacked the school choice movement across the country and lock folks into dysfunctional schools. And they will tried to create an environment that attracts capital back into the cities. But that means that you have to fix the infrastructure. Those cities have to be safe, and the people in those cities have to have an education level that makes it a good place to do business and to attract workers from. That's what he's going to do. It's going to be shock and awe, believe me.
Ken, I believe you always, and I appreciate you being with us. And it's really, it's difficult to imagine the so-called benign neglect that this administration, the Obama administration, has tendered toward cities that are crying out for help all over the country. I think the way to say it is this election didn't, happen just in time. Ken, appreciate it. Ken Blackwell. Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Lou.
Thanks.